Hello and welcome. Tonight, Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle round up their visit to Nigeria with 3 events in Lagos, a fundraising for Invictus Games, a visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and attendance of a basketball clinic by the Giants of Africa. Supporting Fubara to become governor was a mistake which will be corrected, and that's according to up their 3-day visit to Nigeria. Now, the event, which took place at the Delborough Hotel in Victoria Island, was attended by several dignitaries. The couple also visited Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at Lagos House Marina, where the governor promised to support foreign innovations which would bring about development and growth to Nigeria. Our correspondent, Kayode Okikiolu, reports.
It's the 3rd and final day of Prince Harry and Meghan's trip to Nigeria, and they wrap up their tour in the country's commercial center, Lagos. The Delborough Hotel, beautifully prepped for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, is a fitting venue for their final engagement, which is to raise funds and promote the Invictus Games for wounded military veterans.
The goal is quite simple: to raise awareness, raise funds and funding for the mental, psychological health of Nigeria's wounded soldiers. They've been fighting insurgency terrorism in the northern part of the country for years now, over a decade. So it's important to raise the awareness, raise funds for their psychological and social welfare. Meghan stepping out essentially.
Prince Harry and Meghan then step out of the hotel to interact with 2 veterans who were wounded in service. Afterwards, the couple head over to the Lagos State Government House in Marina to visit Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The governor and his wife, Dr. Ibijoke Sanwo-Olu, receive the couple and then step in for a closed-door meeting with the governor.
We're indeed happy for what they are doing, especially for our military men, on conversations around mental issues, mental health issues, mental illness, and how they can galvanize their various NGOs at ensuring that people that require those supports.
The royal convoy then makes its way back to the venue for the Invictus Games fundraising event, which is an exclusive one. With an air of prestige and significance, dignitaries step out of their vehicles, greeted by hotel staff and security personnel. Among them are business leaders and philanthropists, all united in their support for wounded soldiers and the Invictus Games Foundation.
This is a foundation that caters to sick, injured, and wounded veterans and service personnel. And most of these people, once they lose their limbs, they are not really able to serve in the military anymore in full active capacity. Invictus sets out ultimately to give them a pathway.
This will boost the morale of our soldiers to know that when they serve in defense of this nation and defense of any country in the world, that soldiers are remembered and they are not left to cater for it. They are not left alone. And this will improve the welfare of our soldiers, and they will want to defend us more.
We hold them so much more as a country, and I believe that the government will see this and try to do the needful. People sacrifice their lives. They go to war for a nation, and they have families, they have children, they have people that depend on them, and they just sacrifice that. It's a lot for somebody to know anything can happen, and they still took that risk to go and represent the country or fight for the country.
I think it's a great motivation. It will motivate them to know that we are solidly behind them and that we understand their sacrifice and their efforts.
Knowing that there are a lot of Nigerian wooden soldiers who have served the nation in their own capacity still want hope, by having a life after, service, injury and all that. So I think it's a noble concept, and I know that it would come to stay.
The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, who invited the couple to Nigeria, says the event shows commitment to Nigerian troops.
No, fantastic. I mean, it shows Nigerians really care about our troops, those that have sacrificed their lives and their bodies for the country, for Nigeria to stay alive, for Nigeria to continue to develop. And for us, me especially and my family, it's a very important event. It shows that commitment. And for the troops, the ability for them to understand that people care about them.
A quick word with the Duke and Duchess.
How would you describe it?
A complete blessing. Thank you.
How about you?
We had a wonderful time. Thank you very much for the... Yes, of course we will. The hospitality's been fantastic. Thank you.
And that wraps up the fundraising event. The Invictus Games, which began as a passion project for the Duke of Sussex in 2014, turns 10 years this year, with its aim to help bring wounded servicemen and women, as well as veterans, psychological and social support through sports. Nigeria is not only hoping to make its second appearance in the next edition, but hopes to host the Invictus Games in the near future.
Earlier in the day, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex attended a basketball clinic held at the Lukpeju Junior Grammar School in Lagos, organized by Giants of Africa, a brainchild of Masai Ujiri, Nigerian-born president of Toronto Raptors. The clinic was organized in collaboration with Archwell Foundation to empower young people and build bonds among communities.
The Giants of Africa Foundation returns to Nigeria 3 years after building a basketball court to empower youth at the Lukpeju Junior Grammar School in Lagos. This time, the foundation embarks on another community development program using basketball at the same location. In collaboration with Archwell Foundation, which is an initiative of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan.
It's so good to be...
The president of Giant of Africa Foundation, Masai Ujiri, gives reasons for the partnership with Archwell Foundation.
Have an unbelievable partnership because everything they do is the same thing we want to do with Giants of Africa, which is unite communities, build young children, uplift them, give them opportunity, give opportunity, and ours is through sports. So with this unique partnership, the Archwell Foundation is partnering with us, donating to build another court like this in Abuja.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex expressed delight in visiting Lagos and using sports to foster meaningful bonds amongst communities.
What you guys are doing here at Giants of Africa is truly amazing, and specifically at this school is incredible. The power of sport can change lives. It brings people together and creates community, and there are no barriers, which is the most important thing.
We are thrilled to be here. I will say on a personal note, I lived in Toronto for 7 years, went to quite a few Raptors games, and that was the first time I had heard of Giants of Africa. So you want to talk about full circle. Never did I think that we would be able to be here all these years later, supporting the expansion of this incredible organization through our foundation, the Archwell Foundation. So we are just so grateful. We're proud of all the work that you're doing. For everyone who helped bring this event together today, thank you.
The Dream Big, Show Up, Do Good basketball clinic attracted more than 50 young players, including those with special needs. And the royal couple's presence in their midst no doubt will inspire them to thrive and succeed.
To security now, and barely 24 hours after 2 police officers were killed in Enugu State, gunmen have reportedly struck again in the state, killing 3 police officers and 1 official of the Federal Road Safety Corps in different attacks in Nsukka and Udenu local government areas in Enugu State. According to eyewitness accounts, the gunmen attacked a police division in Umaboeha Alumona in Nsukka Area Council on Saturday night, killing 2 policemen. In a separate attack, gunmen also killed a Federal Road Safety personnel, as well as a police officer attached to the traditional ruler of Igali Amala community in Oba Udenu local government area, His Royal Highness Igwe Patrick Eze, also known as Igwe Waziri. Meanwhile, the police is yet to give any official statement regarding the killings. Governor Peter Mbah had placed a 10 million naira bounty on the killers of the 2 policemen that were murdered on Friday. 14 students of the Conference University in Kogi State have been rescued from their abductors. According to a statement by the state government, their rescue was effected by local vigilante groups and other security agents after a gun battle with their abductors. The Kogi State Governor, Usman Ododo, had earlier visited the institution to assure parents of the safe return of their children. Now to Rivers politics. The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike has said his decision to support Governor Siminalayi Fubara in the 2023 election is a mistake which he is ready to correct, and he apologizes for it. Mr. Wike, who is speaking at a function in Ogu Bolo local government area of Rivers State, apologized to the people of the local government for his role in the emergence of Mr. Fubara as the Rivers State Governor.
I respect people who appreciate what God has done for them, who appreciate what God has used people to do for them. God does not come down. God uses people to help people. So when you have been helped, you appreciate them, and then God will know that you have also appreciated him. I have never told anybody to worship me. Nobody can worship man. All of us believe that we only have one God, and it's only that God we will worship, and we will continue to worship that God. But as politicians, we appreciate people who have helped us. You know, I want to say this clearly. Well, in life, when you have made a mistake, you say you have made a mistake. There's nothing you can do about it. I have made a mistake. I own it up, and I say, God, forgive me. And I'll say, all of you forgive me. But we'll correct it at the appropriate time. I'm a human being. I'm bound to make a mistake. My judgment can be wrong. So forgive me for making a wrong judgment.
Meanwhile, the lawmaker representing Ahoda West constituency in Rivers State, Mr. Sukari Goodboy, has warned against alleged plans by some politicians in the state to truncate Governor Siminalayi Fubara's administration. Mr. Goodboy, who is a supporter of the governor, says the widespread acceptance of Governor Fubara as a result of his people-centered programs and policies is an evidence that the administration has come to stay. He made the remark during a reception organized by his constituency following his release from police custody and his emergence as the leader of the pro-Fubara faction in the House of Assembly.
Today we will make sure that Fubara succeeds in his governance, and we believe with our effort and putting our all strength together, he will succeed. Nobody can protect this government and tell us our leader. This is really 4 years that we want, because we believe that we will start well and we make sure, just as every other governor of the state that has done first and second term, the same will do his best.
In part two, after the break, we have more on the Rivers political crisis. Have condemned Governor Siminalayi Fubara over his alleged intention to demolish parts of the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters. The group, comprising of current and former lawmakers, gave their position after a solidarity visit to the Assembly quarters on Sunday. That's today.
This crowd present at the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters is made up of current and serving lawmakers, both at the federal and state level, as well as top politicians of Rivers origin. They are received by the Speaker of the Assembly, and Desmond Akawo, a former state PDP chairman, informs the Speaker of the reason for their visit.
We've been disturbed. We got information about the leakages and problems with the structures. That last time we saw the governor coming, saying that he was going to intervene by breaking down some of the structures and rebuild the place. For us, after what happened to the Rivers State House Assembly, which is the best in the country, we do not want another structure destroyed without being replaced. We actually invited some engineers to look at their own structures, and they are looking at what is on here. I'm sure it's the person occupying the building that should be able to tell us what is wrong. That's why we're here this morning.
There is certainly nothing wrong with this structure. This structure is fully in use. fully functional, and all the experts that the Rivers Assembly has employed have confirmed to us that this building is one of the best in the entire West Africa. We are happy with the building. Everything is working. We didn't write to the governor. We didn't invite him. We didn't ask him for help. And we don't need his help. We don't need his intervention in any way. As far as we are concerned, any attempt to talk about reconstruction or demolition is clearly an assault on democracy. It's clearly an assault on members who are residents in all of these buildings.
The Speaker then conducts them on an inspection of the facilities in the quarters to see things for themselves.
He has resolved that come inside and see what we have.
Afterwards, there are words of support from Kingsley Chinda, the minority leader of the House of Representatives, and the former Senator Olaka Wogu.
We have on our own come out to also physically inspect the structures to cross-check that with the report we received. And these structures are still strong and healthy.
Let me make it clear that it's not the building that makes the parliament. It's the members of the parliament themselves and the constitution. Even if you break down this place, the members can decide to sit in any place by resolution they choose to so do.
On his part, the Rivers APC chairman says he and his EXCO members are going to protect the interests of the assembly members who are his party men.
Leaders have spoken as leaders of a party, of the state. I want to personalize it with my colleagues who are members of the caretaker committee of the All Progressives Congress. Members of the assembly, 27 of them are our property, and we owe them a responsibility to protect and defend them.
With this move, the political group loyal to the FCT minister appear to be closing ranks in solidarity with the Ame Wuli group of the State House of Assembly. Charles Oporum, Channels Television News.
The United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF launched multiple indicator cluster surveys in 1995 to monitor the status of children around the world. UNICEF's most recent education fact sheet and public statements about the number of out-of-school children in Nigeria is still worrisome. Tonight, Babajide Oguso, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data analyst, is right here to share more insights from these recent statistics on Nigeria's out-of-school children. Babajide, great to have you again on the News at 10.
Good evening, Ayotunde.
All right, so we're talking about out-of-school children. So how many indeed are out of school, and which level of education has the highest number of out-of-school children in the country, even as we speak?
There are several ways to look at it, but there are three ways I'd like to discuss this. The first is looking straight at the numbers, 18 million. 18 million Nigerian children that should be in school are out of school. That's the first way to look at it. The second way to look at it is to understand what 18 million really means. 18 million is the equivalent population of Chad Republic. In simple terms, we have an out-of-school children population that is the equivalent of a country. Netherlands, their population is not even up to the population of Nigeria's out-of-school children. So that is one way to understand it. Now, but perhaps the third and final way is beyond the 18 million out-of-school children, we need to ask ourselves, Ayotunde, where are these out-of-school children located? And so I'd like us to take a critical look at the data, because the data from this recent report from UNICEF allows us to clearly understand what is going on. 18 million out-of-school children, Ayotunde. However, the facts from UNICEF shows that 85%, you heard me right, 85% of Nigeria's out-of-school children are located in the northern region. 8 million out-of-school children in Nigeria's northwest, 5 million out-of-school children in Nigeria's northeast, and another 2.1 million children that should be in school that are currently out of school live in the north central. So here are the implications. If we recollect clearly, less than 2 years ago, the National Bureau of Statistics released a report on poverty, showing that yes, 132 million Nigerians were categorized as poor. However, 65% of those numbers of people that were poor lived in northern Nigeria. Now, this report is showing 85% of those who are out of school are also in northern Nigeria. So we see a very strong correlation between poverty and out-of-school children. We see a dangerous relationship between families who have low income and families who cannot send or keep their children in school.
So, which brings the next question. I mean, we've seen this report, the statistics, and we now talk about the solutions. Does the report, offer any ideas, really, in order to see how we can resolve this issue of out-of-school children?
So within this report, UNICEF makes it clear that Nigeria will still have to play the leading role. They will assist with policies and programs and the experience in other countries. But one thing they've clearly said is that we need to change our approach. What they found out are three major things, Ayotunde. The first is children are enrolling. Some children are enrolling, but they are not attending. So the first is we have an enrollment problem. Not all children are enrolling, and indeed when they enroll, they do not attend. And the third problem is we have a completion problem. So some do attend, but they never complete. So what UNICEF is saying is we need to first of all understand that we need to get more people to enroll. First, those that enroll now need to attend. And when you attend, there's a chance that you drop out. We need to make sure that these children that attend complete. So we need to look at enrollment, attendance, and completion. But one thing that is striking is if we take a look at this very important data from UNICEF on what are the families that are likely to be out of school, they make it very clear. Look at what is happening between the richest families and the poorest families. And I'll explain this data. The first line, which families are likely to be out of school? They conducted research and they realized that for the richest families, only 5% of their children are not likely to attend primary school. Look at the poorest, 58%. In simple terms, if you're a poor family, 58% of the time, your child will not attend primary school. Junior secondary school, only 6% of the richest families will their children not attend junior secondary schools. For the poorest families, 58%. Same thing for the poorest families, senior secondary school, the numbers even get worse, 68%. So what we've seen, Ayotunde, is despite whatever policies and programs and plans of the government, the data is very easy to understand. As long as the Nigerian family keeps getting poorer, the government's policies and programs to reduce the out-of-school children will be ineffective. You heard me correctly. As long as families keep getting poorer, the government's plans, policies, and programs to reduce the number of out-of-school children will keep getting worse. And so what the government now needs to do is pick up three documents. First is we need to have this out-of-school children numbers that the government needs to study. But because we understand that out-of-school children numbers are connected with poverty, the government also needs to look at the poverty numbers, keeping an eye on what is going on with household income. And clearly, Ayotunde, because we also know that household income is related to unemployment and employment. And so, this is important that the government doesn't just focus on out-of-school children numbers. We see that there's a link between these numbers and poverty, average household income, and we clearly know that average household income and poverty numbers are also correlated with unemployment figures. So these are the documents that the government needs to critically examine to make sure it knows what exactly is going on.
So this brings to me my next question, of course. What is there, or what plan should the government be looking at significantly in order to reduce this before the year 2027, both the federal and, of course, state governments? Is there any plan at all to reduce these numbers?
My grandfather used to tell me that for you to solve a problem, you need to understand the problem. And for you to understand the problem, you need to define the problem. In simple terms, if there are three words for the government to do right now, it will be use the data. Let's look at that final data, the chart of the week. The data from the unit from the United Nations funds makes it very clear. Yes, we've talked about that big number, 18 million children that are out of school. But here are the facts, and these are not Babajide Ogunsanwo's facts. These are from UNICEF. They say, Ayotunde, 65%, you heard me right, 65% of Nigeria's out of school children are Hausa and Fulani. And so we clearly need to understand that there's a cultural and religious dimension to out-of-school children. We no longer can run away from it. Those are the numbers. Out-of-school children where the head of the family are Hausa, Fulani, combined over 11 million. In simple terms, 65% of children that are out of school are Hausa, Fulani. We need to understand there's a cultural and religious dimension to out of school, but in the final analysis, let's not forget, for us to solve a problem, we need to understand this problem. Ayotunde.
Well, indeed, we'll have to understand the problem, like you rightly said, and let's hope that we get to work in no distant future. It is indeed a serious issue that we have to look in very closely. Babajide Ogunsanwo, thank you so much again for your thoughts and insights on the news at 10. Still ahead on the news at 10. 25 Exceptional Engineering Management Commission is assuring Nigerians of the security of their data and better service delivery in the nearest future. The Director General of the Commission, Mrs. Abisoye Koko-Dushote, told Channels Television that the agency is working to ensure that its staff are properly equipped to deliver on the mandate in a secure and effective manner. According to Mrs. Koko-Dushote, the tools that the Commission has been using are as old as 2011, but that is about to change.
Funding is a huge part of it, okay? So we need to be able to replace all of these things. A lot of the offices at the moment are not conducive enough for people to be able to obviously carry out their daily duties. But so far, so good. We have been able to weather the storm, and we're forging ahead, and we're addressing all of these areas. So in terms of funding and in terms of looking at how we're going to ensure that we're able to obviously give the office a new facelift, and also, give us a positive image out there, and ensure that people have working tools and they have a conducive environment to be able to carry out their daily duties. We're also looking into that. So for me, staff welfare is very, very key. And I always tell people that for you to be able to get the best out of somebody, you need to make sure that they are empowered with all the working tools that they need for you to be able to see them perform optimally on the job.
Or catch the complete interview on Newsnight by 9 p.m. on Monday, showing on all Channels television platforms. 25 exceptional engineering students from the Yaba College of Technology are set to begin an 18-month course in China, courtesy of the Chief Diana Chen Foundation. The chairman of the foundation, Diana Chen, during the public launch of Silk Road International Fellowship Program, says the opportunity, which is to grow the capacity of young Nigerians in automobile technology, will be extended to students from other schools. The fellowship is supported by Yabatech, Hangzhou Vocational and Technical College China, CIG Motors, and the Consulate of China.
25 students of the Yaba College of Technology arrived at the GAC Motors office in Lagos for the public launch of the Silk Road International Fellowship Program. The exchange program is courtesy Chief Diana Chen Foundation, with support from Yabatech, Hangzhou Vocational and Technical College China, China Consular, and the CIG Motors. And all the supporting partners in Nigeria and China quickly put pen to paper to ensure the Silk Road International Fellowship Program is a huge success.
We're happy to see the beautiful smile on the beautiful faces of the participants, and we thank God for the generosity and the vision of our chairman.
The 25 exceptional engineering students are, by this opportunity offered by the Diana Chen Foundation, set to become trailblazers in the automobile industry, following their selection for an 18-month course at the Hangzhou Vocational and Technical College in China.
The young men and women that you are looking at here are fully determined, are fully readied, and fully prepared by the college to give it all it takes to ensure that the flag of the country flies high in the People's Republic of China.
The Lagos state government shows presence and commitment to public-private partnership through its Ibile holdings.
For us at Ibile and Lagos state government, we're saying, Chief Diana, well done. We will continue to support you. Thank you very much.
The Consul General of the People's Republic of China in Lagos, while sharing a note of advice with the students, emphasizes bridge building between both countries.
We know that your President Tinubu also have a plan. You call it renewed hope. So in Nigeria, who renewed hope? You. Yeah, because I think that young people, yes, are the future of nature of state.
The chairman of the Diana Chen Foundation expresses commitment to a partnership that inspires growth and transformative journey.
We as an organization, me as a person, when I see that something is really can come back to the benefit to the people, then I just do a little effort. Let this thing happen in a little way faster. So that this long waiting, no need to wait again. I give the mandate to all the team. Let's finish the project within 3 months. That's why today, your people are going to take the flight, I think, no later, around 25th of May. This is our final destination day to send all your people to China.
It's a dream come through for the selected students, and the expectations are high.
We will come back, sure.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is not just committing myself to the fact that after coming back we'll be relevant, but with the fact that coming back we are not just only relevant, but we are peace setters.
The mission of the program include partnering with other schools to offer more students opportunities, setting up international vocational and technical college in Nigeria to build the nation's technological capacity. These are feats worth applauding.
It's going to encourage our youth to, of course, believe more in Nigeria. And, of course, the jackpot syndrome would also reduce because it gives an opportunity for them to say, yes, we can actually be trained from Nigeria and come back and give back to Nigeria.
So I want to congratulate this organization for putting this together and urge them to spread it.
And when they are done, instant employment awaits them, says the chairman.
Definitely, we will provide a senior position for them to carry higher responsibility, so that to build the industry across the country can be better and better.
In line with the federal government's agenda for qualitative education, the Diana Chen Foundation has, by this endeavor, demonstrated her understanding and commitment to growing the country's manpower capacity.
Love World Incorporated will be celebrating the many successes and testimonies of the use of the daily devotional Rhapsody of Realities. The event, tagged Rhapathon with Pastor Chris, will begin on Wednesday, May the 15th to Saturday, May the 18th this year. Those wishing to participate have been asked to visit www.reachoutworld.org.
It's a World Press Conference taking place in Lagos for Rhapathon with Pastor Chris, billed for the 15th to the 18th of May 2024. The Rhapathon takes its roots from the widely circulated daily devotional Rhapsody of Realities, authored by Reverend Chris Oyahilome, president of Love World Incorporated. And as such, the organizers thought it necessary to give a background to the publication.
That is why the Rhapsody of Realities is the #1 devotional in the whole world.
The publication is today available in various formats, including hard and soft copies, as well as audio and braille for the visually impaired. This is done for a reason.
We've already said it's in all known languages, over 8,000 of them. It's currently in over 4,000 dialects. And that's just to ensure everyone can actually read it in their own language and understand, and have their minds renewed with God's word that will cause that transformation.
According to the organizers, The Rhapathon with Pastor Chris will help users understand how best to apply the devotional, as well as celebrate its impact and the many testimonies from its daily use.
And at this juncture, I must make a very special call to leaders, decision makers, in fact, anyone that has the responsibility to shape the future of people and of places. You need to be at Rhapathon. The Rhapathon again is coming up on the 15th, Wednesday, 15th of May, Wednesday till the 18th of May, which is Saturday. And how can you register? You can go straight to www.reachoutworld.org. This is your first step in becoming a beneficiary of the Rhapathon.
In a period when the world seeks peace, security, and progress, amongst other things, Love World Incorporated says insights are available at the Rhapathon, and its doors are wide open.
The leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Kaduna State have commended Governor Uba Sani for his people-oriented programs. During the visit to the government house, the chairman of CAN applauded the governor for forging unity and peace, and also solicited more attention on the Christian community in Kaduna State.
Leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Kaduna State Chapter, arrived at the Executive Council chamber of Sir Kashim Ibrahim Government House for a meeting with Governor Uba Sani. Led by the new CAN chairman, Reverend Caleb Maji, the team commends Governor Sani for what it describes as people-oriented governance, while appealing to him to address some of the challenges faced by the Christian community in Kaduna State.
You are indeed the people's governor that is not biased, that loves his people, that always wants to identify with his people despite the difference of faith. And that has shown to us that indeed you are one of us. We request that the Christian Pilgrims Welfare Board be reintroduced. Peace can only happen.
Governor Uba Sani reiterates his commitment to promoting peace in Kaduna State. According to him, he has taken an oath as governor to be fair and just to all citizens and all parts of the state, irrespective of religious, ethnic, or political differences.
We all work together and we try as much as possible to send very important messages of peace and unity in our state. There will never be any crisis or conflicts within our own communities. We will be fair to both Muslim and Christians, to every ethnic nationality in Kaduna State. Even those that do not vote for me, I told them I will take development to every part of Kaduna State, because politics is over. It's about governance. Governance is what is more important. And governance means being fair to everyone. And that is the reason why if you go around Kaduna State, you agree with me that we are taking development to every part of Kaduna State as we are speaking. We have done groundbreakings to construct roads, build skill acquisition cities, ensuring that we also improve the level of our hospitals. And if you go around, you realize that we have touched every part of Kaduna State.
For many years, Kaduna State has had a checkered history of ethnic religious conflicts, which engulfed many communities. However, Governor Uba Sani believes peace and unity, as well as development, are achievable with fairness and justice to all.
The President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, is calling on Nigerian youth to embrace the power of technology and innovation in the minerals sector, particularly in lithium battery processing, to drive economic growth and propel Nigeria towards a brighter future. Senator Akpabio made the call at the commissioning of Nigeria's first lithium processing plant in Nasarawa State. The $100 million plant has an annual capacity of 1 million metric tons of lithium and is part of activities ushering in the second edition of the Nasarawa Investment Summit 2024. Our correspondent, Halima Gayam, reports.
A significant milestone in Nigeria's mining sector is recorded as stakeholders gather for the commissioning of Nigeria's first lithium processing plant located in Nasarawa local government area of Nasarawa State, north-central Nigeria. President Bola Tinubu is represented by the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio. He joins the host governor, Abdullahi Sule, Governor Usman Ododo of Kogi State, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, and other stakeholders for the launch of the $100 million plant.
The Senate President of Nigeria.
The Senate President wants the young populace to embrace the application of technology and new initiatives in the mineral sector, especially in lithium battery processing, to propel economic growth and to position the country as a leader in the global clean energy revolution.
For the first time in the history of our technology, we are becoming partners and partakers in the production value chain of this mineral. It is a historic leap because we now have opportunity to know how it is done to ourselves on our own and hone the skills.
As Governor Abdullahi Sule appreciates the federal government and stakeholders for supporting the government to open the state to investors in the mining sector, he calls for local participation.
I am still calling on Nigerians, especially those from Nasarawa State, who can afford, to be able to invest in the mining industry, to please start.
Working to actualize the renewed hope vision in the mining sector, the Solid Minerals Development Minister highlights a 7-point transformation agenda with value addition standing very critical for the ministry to pursue.
May I draw your attention to one of the items on our 7-point agenda, which has resonated beyond the shores of Nigeria, and that is the local value addition policy, which we adopted in the Ministry of Solid Minerals.
Though a maiden edifice in Nigeria, there is plan for expansion as the second phase of the project, which will provide about 4,000 jobs, is underway. The Senate President, flanked by Governor Abdullahi Sule and other stakeholders, commissioned the plant. The lithium processing plant has a 4,000 metric tons daily capacity and 1 million annually. This groundbreaking achievement paves the way for the nation's emergence as a key player in the global lithium markets, with Nasarawa State living to its name as Nigeria's home of solid minerals. Halima Agayam, Channel Television News.
2023 inspirational movie Breath of Life took away the breath of the African movie world after carting away the most prizes at the 10th African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards on Saturday. The movie picked up 6 gongs from 9 nominations, with an icing trailblazer prize for one of its cast, Chimezie Imo, on the night that Nollywood shines over other African film industries. Veterans Richard Mofe Damijo and Ido Phillips, popularly known as Yarimbo, were honored with Industry Merit Awards for their lasting on-screen contributions to the development of filmmaking in Africa. The cast and crew of Bibi Shashore's inspirational movie Breath of Life showing off their prizes from the 10th installment of the African Magic Viewers' Choice Awards on Saturday night.
Push it out! Breath of Life.
The movie picked up 6 prizes from 9 nominations, including 3 of the Big 4 categories. While Leojo, who played the older lead character, Timi, picked up the Best Actor prize for portraying the eccentric and mean man who was later transformed into a hero.
Oh, it was an emotional upheaval. It's very traumatic. I cried a lot. I went from the wicked, almost cruel guy. But, you can't blame him. He lost his whole family, He rejected God, and he accepted God, and then he went through a whole gamut of emotions. And it was traumatic for the character. But as me, for an actor, it was a great challenge to really go into that role and give it my best. And
the younger character was played by Demola Adedoyin, and he also bagged the Best Actor prize in a supporting role, with young Genevieve Ume winning the opposite prize for her role in the same movie.
Feeling really good. I'm feeling really excited. I can't believe it. It hasn't sunk in yet, but yeah, really, really grateful.
Another Breath of Life cast, Chimezie Imo, won the Trailblazer statuette, and his emotions got the better of him while picking up the prize.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
The Big Titans Clash category of the Best Director, Inevitable, went to Bibi Shashore, beating other gladiators, including C.J. Obasi, Moses Inwang, and others.
On set, inception, all through production and post-production, I think
you end up being in a space of thoughtfulness and sort of reverence for something greater, and sort of trying to figure out what the purpose of it all is. Like I keep saying, I keep using the word humble, because both the reaction and the amount of talent that surrounded us is quite touching. And I would say I was in a place of sort of deep introspection and reflection, and I'm humbled to be here.
It wasn't a surprise to see the biggest prize of the night, Best Movie Gong, go to the team.
Honestly, I'm blown away. I'm so honored that the AMVCA jury voted in our favor, and like I keep saying, like a film. Yes, the story is a strength. The director is amazing, but it really is a collaboration of many filmmakers that fits into different categories: creatives, production designers, everybody working together to really bring the film together. And I think we were working with the best people. Honestly, that's why I think we made the best film. Everybody knew what they were doing, and everybody contributed what they needed to do. The power in true filmmaking is true collaboration.
Veterans Richard Mofedamijo and Idowu Phillips, popularly known as the Yarimbo, were honored with Industry Merit Awards for their lasting on-screen contributions to the development of filmmaking in Africa. Arsenal FC kept their English Premier League title dreams alive by ending an Old Trafford hoodoo to grind out a 1-0 win against Manchester United to move back top of the table. Leandro Trossard scored the only goal on 20 minutes as the Gunners won for the second time at Old Trafford in 17 games. Arsenal have been in scintillating form in the year 2024 with 15 wins and a draw in 17 league matches. Real Madrid FC players celebrated winning the 2023-24 Spanish La Liga title with an open-top bus parade in front of thousands of adoring fans in the Spanish capital earlier today. The Los Blancos secured their 36th title last weekend and now look forward to the UEFA Champions League final on June the 1st against Borussia Dortmund at Wembley Stadium. The federation, that's the Nigeria Football Federation, has announced that newly appointed Super Eagles coach Finidi George will be unveiled on Monday. Now, the 52-year-old was appointed last month following the exit of Portuguese tactician Jose Peseiro after the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire in February. Finidi George's immediate task is picking maximum points from the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying games against South Africa and Benin Republic in June. World record holder Tobiloba Amusan has become the fastest woman in the world this year after clocking 12.40 seconds in the women's 100 meters hurdles at the Jamaica Athletics Invitational in Kingston. Amusan surged ahead in the 7th hurdle, beating world champion Danielle Williams of Jamaica, who ran 12.46 seconds for second place, while American Christina Clemens finished third in 12.54 seconds. She surpassed the previous world leading time of 12.42 seconds set by American Tonia Marshall in the month of April. Russia is blaming a Ukrainian strike after an entire section of an apartment building collapsed following an explosion in Belgorod. CCTV from the scene shows a large blast near the base of a 10-story block and then the building falling in. The regional governor said 2 bodies had been pulled from the rubble. At least 19 people have been injured.
The residential districts in the city of Belgorod near the border with Ukraine was struck by deadly shelling on Saturday, causing damage to high-rise buildings, structures and vehicles. The regional governor of Belgorod accused Ukraine of bombarding the region, describing the cause of the explosion as a Ukrainian shell. CCTV from the scene shows a large blast near the base of the 10-story block and then the building falling in. 2 bodies were reportedly pulled from the rubble and 19 people have been injured. Rescue services, EMECOM, were seen performing search and rescue operation on Sunday. Can you hear us? They call out. All residents of the apartment building were evacuated to temporary accommodation centers after its entrance section collapsed from the ground floor up. The Russian Defense Ministry said the attack was carried out by the Kyiv regime, describing the attack as a terrorist one on residential neighborhoods. The Russian Investigative Committee opened a criminal case on terrorism charges. The Ukrainian side attributed the attack to a guided bomb dropped by a Russian plane intended for Ukraine, but whose glide wings had not opened. The incident comes as fighting continues just across the border in northeastern Ukraine, where Russian forces have made incursions into the Kharkiv region. The Russian Defense Ministry in Moscow claims its forces have captured a number of villages there, while Kyiv says it has been carrying out counterattacks.